Hey, hello everyone. So after the series which we did on OS top 10 API security risk, a lot of people have asked me about the open banking stuff and where are the API used in various domains, and after that, what are the use cases of APIs, how APIs are changing the world, and more so specifically in banking sector. So from today onwards, I am starting a new series which will talk about. The series name is APIs everywhere, and in the first part of that series I will talk about the banking, how APIs are changing the banking altogether, the domain altogether. Okay, so when we talk about banking, open banking is the name which everyone is talking about nowadays, and I am following this space since last 5-6 years, when UPI and PSD2 both were in only in vision. So I think I have a lot of stuff to give back to the community, and that's why I decided to start this series. Okay, so today I'll talk about open banking. In the subsequent part of this series is API is everywhere, and specifically on banking I'll talk about the payment system in various geographies, various countries, how APIs are changing those payment scenarios. So first part of this series I'll talk about what is open banking, and I'd like to clear a few of the terms which are very popular in the industry but are being used as synonymously, although they are not. They are different terms. So when we talk about open banking, we should be clear about few terms. We need to understand what those terms are and how those terms are changing our whole industry, and then we need to further made up our analysis and our subject on top of that. So let's first discuss what is open banking. See, there is a movement going on in the world where data, although either market is asking for open data, or sometimes customers are asking for open data, and sometimes regulators are telling entities to open the data. So it is open data revolution, and open banking is a part of that open data revolution. In the future, near future, in fact, in this decade, we'll see a lot of open data stuff. So what is open banking? Till date, banks have been custodian of all the customers' data. When you talk about the customer data, how are you operating your account, what is how much money you are keeping in your account, what is the spending pattern. See, with the data, a lot of analysis comes and a lot of insights comes. When I'm saying banks have been custodian of data, it means banks have been custodian of those analysis, those insights for customers, and on that insight, banks are making their customer base. Now there is a market push, somewhere there is a market push, somewhere there is a regulator push to open that data to the third parties, so that third parties one can provide a comparison of 2-3 products to a customer, and customer can make an informed decision whether he or she is using the right product on right price, and third parties application through their innovations can provide more and more insight to the customer, so that customer can make their financial decision better. So open banking is all about opening up customer data to the third parties. Okay, now there's a difference between open banking and the banking as service. A lot of people confuse banking as service to the open banking. In last decades, banks have invested a lot in online banking, mobile banking, and they have created a lot of services which were being consumed internally till date. But now suddenly there's a push from the external application providers to consume that service externally on their app, like Google and Amazon and Facebook. Okay, so those services like your account opening services or your balance inquiry services or ATM location services are being exposed externally, and this is called a banking as a service, which has been provided not only on banks platform but other parties platform also. So in this case, banking as a service, the services are opening up to the third parties for the consumption, which can provide some where the customer is, like customer is spending time on Google or Facebook, so banks also want to provide their services on those platforms. Now when we talked about banking as a service and the open banking, then where API banking comes into picture. So all these two things, like whether it's the open banking or the banking and the service, both are mostly being powered by API banking. What are the APIs? APIs are it's a vehicle, or it is a technology through which internal data can be exposed to external party. Or when we talk about API, we are talking about web API. In web API, data is being exposed through HTTP protocol, which can be consumed over internet. So this banking as a service or open banking, all of these things are being enabled by API. So that's why API banking is a larger umbrella under which open banking is there, under which banking as service is there, and a lot of other services which can be exposed to third party. So first part of this series, here I will stop, and then in the next part we'll talk more about the open banking in the various domain. Till that, see you, bye bye.